Patrick, let's get you on over here, and it's good to have you here this afternoon. And I know we want to jump right into some of these articles here. So, hey, good to have you here.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, I just wanted to acknowledge a couple of people there that showed up or typed something in. Marshall, Sangeetha, and Bo have come on here and typed in where they're from there as well. So anyway, we just want to recognize that everybody really is live on here today.
Absolutely.
Unless you're watching a recording of this, and then, of course, it's not live. But yeah, this is a great article here, Eric. I happen to know the guy that wrote this. He is the past president of the Healthcare Billing and Management Association. And he basically wrote this just in June of this year, why doctors should outsource their billing. And he says some great things in here. So let's show them what the quotes are there.
Yeah, he starts off, we've kind of just broken this up a little bit. Folks, you can go see the full article right down there below. You can see that's the link there that you can go out to. But he basically starts off by saying, you know, the practice of medicine is comprised of numerous specialties. What he's talking about is podiatry and family practice and cardiology. And he says doctors are trained for over a decade to obtain those particular skills necessary to successfully practice their medicine. And so they're talking about in their chosen field. But he goes on to say, but you won't find a general practitioner performing a triple bypass on their patients. Patrick, I'm going to let you take the rest of this because this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, he says, similarly, given the complexity of today's revenue cycle processes, it takes the specialized skill of medical billing professionals. Now, folks, that's what we do. We train you to be one of those to ensure your practice's economic success and compliance with the plethora of government regulations. Billing is no longer something someone does to fill in the time between scheduling and rooming your patients. And that's what most of them are doing, Eric, in a doctor's office. They, in between a dozen other things that they're doing, they're trying to get the billing done, and they overlook a whole lot and thus leave a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, there's no doubt. So, folks, we encourage you to go out and look at some of these articles because this is not Patrick and Eric saying this. These are other folks that are in the field of what we're all in saying why doctors should outsource their billing. So you want to go check that out as soon as you can. Now, this one really kind of hits really where we are, Patrick, and because you are the sort of the overseer of this whole medical revenue manager certification. And I think you might even know Jack here, but you threw this back at me later this afternoon to put it up here.
Yeah, this is a quote from this magazine. They interviewed one of our licensees. Jack is his name. Jack B. We know what his last name is, of course, but he's a real person. Lives out in California. He says they asked him the question, for those who are interested in working in your field, can you give us more insight as to how one should get started to become a certified medical revenue manager? That's what we certify people when they come down to our week-long training workshop. We give them an actual certificate that shows that they are certified. And so Jack says one has many different options as to becoming a medical revenue manager. They can read books, take college classes, take correspondence courses online, or even attend training sessions to achieve these credentials. And that's the end of that quote. Oh, here it is. What it means to be a certified revenue manager, he says, is to have the knowledge and experience to help businesses and physician practices with all aspects of the revenue cycle, from the complete cycle of receivables, reimbursement, electronic records, payment options, coding, and marketing. And if you have the desire to help physicians thrive in medical practice and continue to serve our communities, then this is the career for you. So Jack is just basically telling other people, hey, I've been through the training, I've become certified. If you want in this career, this is the way to do it. Well, I mean, you could take online courses and read books, but why go the long route when you can just take the shortcut and come to our week-long training here in Dallas?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's what it's all about, folks. So we can literally take someone who's have had no experience in medical billing, certify you as a revenue cycle manager, and then get you going because we have many conversations with so many different people, Patrick, And I know that a lot of people have a struggle of just getting clients. So I think that's some of the things we're actually going to talk about today, of making sure that we can show people how they can actually be successful in their medical billing. It really kind of starts with a lifetime of support. And I kind of asked the question, what does that mean? But won't you kind of tell us the history of the support that American Business Systems had and kind of where we are today?
Well, of course, we're a licensing situation. We're not a franchise, so there's no restricted territories. There's no ongoing royalties that you have to pay each month. It's a little different, but it's similar enough to compare it to all of the other business opportunities that are out there. Most of them will give you a year's support. We used to do that. Then we extended it to 2 years. And at one point, we just said, you know what? There's no reason why we can't have lifetime support for our folks. And that just means there's no other fees that people have to pay us. After they pay us our initial training licensing fee, which is $24,990, after they've been through the week's workshop here, there are no royalties, no additional user fees for each person who's using our system, no support or access fees. Eric, these are things that other companies charge for on an annual basis. Software upgrades, updates to the codes, for example, whenever they introduce new services or new features, training, they have ongoing training fees, and clearinghouse fees. Every claim that's sent through a clearinghouse, is charged in most cases. We don't have any of that. It's all inclusive.
Yeah, and I think, Patrick, it's amazing how time does fly. I mean, I started back here with American Business Systems just a little over 8 years ago, and I knew when we first started here, I think we only had a limited 2-year support, and then after that, we did charge for that. But we kind of revamped everything about 5 years ago, and we said, look, we're here to ensure the success of our licensees.
Well, and Eric, let me explain that just so folks know, because I'm sure people wonder, well, how do you stay in business if we're continuing to get support forever and there's none of these other fees? It's because we have arranged with our technology partners that we actually do make a few pennies on all the transactions that go through our system. Now, those are you're paying, though. Those are fees that the doctor is paying you. Right. And so it's all inclusive. In other words, we didn't want to nickel and dime people to death. And so I just said, once they've paid that lifetime fee of $24,990, that's it. They'll never have to pay American Business Systems another penny.
Now, you're not objective if they want to throw more money at you.
Oh, I'm always open. Hey, I'll give them my bank account number. They can wire money there all day long if they want to, but it's not necessary.
Right. It's certainly not necessary, folks. Okay, so we wanted to make that very, very clear. And Patrick, what goes right along with this whole support? This is the great thing about it, because we're talking about no royalties, fees. There's no user fees. There's no support or access fees. All these different things that we have up there. One of the greatest things that I think that we've done here to really help our licensees succeed is this whole business about doing live demonstrations of the software. I mean, this is, you and I have talked about it. Our entire team has talked about it. There's no really way to put a price on this, and so
it's unheard of. It's unheard of, Eric. Nobody does this, but we do live demos of our system. Remember, folks, we have a billing system, and built in with that, integrated is an electronic health record system for the doctor to use. And so they want to see that. Doctors are always interested in the latest in technology. You can offer that as an ABS licensee. You tell them, look, let me do a free practice analysis, and we have all that worked out for you, lots of questions that you ask them. And as soon as we've done that, I'll let you see a demo of the system that we're actually going to be using to reduce your rejection rate from 30% down to 2% and to get your money faster. And so we show it to them live, just like you illustrate right here, Eric. I mean, we're on the computer doing the demo live of our system. The doctor and you are in their office actually watching it, and we answer all the questions that the doctor has for you.
Yeah, we do, and this is what's the most incredible part about it. I know that, I know that we talked a lot about, again, all the different pieces and everything else, but folks, the power of what we do here, let this sink in. There are 5 people, that are designated to do these demonstrations. there are sometimes I actually come in as the sixth person because we get a little overloaded sometimes. So there can be up to 6 people doing demonstrations all at one time, folks. This is incredible because we're here to help you get your doctors. Remember what Patrick just said, and Patrick, you may want to reiterate that again, is that we want people to get their doctors because ABS can get their residual income on the back end, not necessarily from the doctor or from our licensees, but basically from the system that you're currently using.
Yes, folks, we have, and Eric will go into this in a little more detail, we do have a clearinghouse, but it's built into our system. So all of those fees that the doctor is using and paying to access the system each month and utilize it for his billing that you're doing for him, those fees, we make pennies on each one of those claims that go through the system. So right. It's a win-win situation. You make money, we make money, the doctor brings in more money, everybody wins in this business.
Yep, absolutely. So let me give you a little taste of it, what it looks like here. Folks, what we'll do, you can see that we will go through, now what you're going to see here are just screenshots of us doing a demonstration. You were right here in the middle of an iClaim part of it right here. And you can see here, even down at the messages, there are certain messages that can be edited in and edited out. You can see let me get my pencil here because I think this is pretty cool. No, I haven't ever seen, Patrick, another system that does on the front page of each of the patients' face sheet aging. When we're talking about the patient aging and the insurance aging, what the patient might owe and what the insurance company might owe, because a lot of the doctors, they don't even know what that is, and they would have to run a complete report on that. Ours is actually built right into the system.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And Eric, let me define that real time. Folks, since this is a cloud-based system, there's no software that resides on your computer at all, nothing. No data is stored on there, no patient information. This is all in the cloud, which is the thing that everybody's using nowadays. And it means it's in real time, which means you can actually give a doctor a login to see his own reports inside the system, and he never has to question it because it's what it is. It's just right there for him to look at in real time.
And the great thing about it is here, there are, now this is showing the ICD-9 codes, but we also already have built in all of the ICD-10 codes. This is kind of weird because I'm using my mouse here. But, folks, this is what's so great about it is that we have all the codes built into the system. I know that Patrick and I have talked about that. We've actually seen that in real time in a webinar once before. But, folks, again, this is going to give you such power and also for the doctors. Now, this is another report, Patrick, which is incredible. People always ask, well, tell me about the reports that your system can do. This is what's called dashboard reports. And so, folks, I mean, you could literally pull up, and if anybody knows what AR stands, that's accounts receivables, you can see here all these different charts here. Patrick, I think the doctors that actually were behind the design of all of this, these are some of the things that they wanted to see as they're seeing their money come through their system.
And that brings up a great point, Eric. People ask us about, well, how often is the software updated? This is kind of hard to explain, but folks, we have a full crew of programmers that are setting every day working on great improvements to the system, because in today's world, it's all about change. It's all about improving and new upgrades. But they're doing that behind the scenes. So every time you log into our system, you're using the latest version and seeing the latest features. And there might be brand new features, and there are usually about once every week or so. Right.
They're every week or every 2 weeks. Again, here's just another way to kind of look at some things here. We're kind of, pseudo going through a demo that we would actually show you live. We can certainly go through all this, but we're looking at the patient roster here. Quickly to how to review, how to manage all these patients. You can see here how the patient demographics are pulled in here. But you can see here, that you can manually enter patient demographics from here. But one thing that's hard for us to show on a webinar is that how this can automatically go in there when we're using the clearinghouse, again, in real time. And this is what it means right here. I'm going to kind of demonstrate this to you just real quickly. What you would like to do, let's kind of role play this real quickly. You walk to the doctor's office. The doctor's office says, what insurance are you with? In our system, it's the only system in the United States that can do this. We can look up the payer of the patient, find their information, click down here where it says submit transaction, and what it will do, it will populate everything back into the system. And folks, you can see there in this calendar system, you can see green, yellow, red, green, green. What this is doing, it is giving us a feedback to let us know that the patient's insurance is either valid or invalid. Now, Patrick, again, if people haven't seen this in real time, I would highly suggest that they see this in a real demo, one-on-one with each other.
Well, and that's a good point, Eric. Folks, if you're on this webinar today, we're just showing you screenshots. You're not seeing the real live demo. But you can. All you do is just get back with the person who sent you the email about this webinar today. We call them our business development coaches. And that person will arrange a time that's convenient for you to get online, just like we are right here, and show you the real thing.
Yeah, you really do want to see this, because what you'll learn is how the system works, but then on the other hand, you're going to actually see is how we actually perform the demonstrations if we had your doctor on the call as well. Patrick, I know that we're coming down already 25 minutes into the webinar. We've really covering a lot of information, but you mentioned earlier, before we actually do the demonstration, you mentioned something about a practice analysis. It's a kind of a questionnaire. This is key. This is critical in doing this practice analysis with any doctor before you do the demo.
Yeah, and here's one of the reasons why, folks, this is a business that will succeed and is succeeding for our licensees. A lot of businesses out there, you got to figure out, how do I go and sell somebody my product or service? Well, folks, there's nothing here to sell except money, and we're selling the doctor more of his own money that he's leaving on the table. We do that through this practice analysis. As you can see, it's 3 pages long. We go through this in our training, step by step, question by question, and show you why it's important to get this information from the doctor, or in many cases, the office manager can provide this for you. Sometimes the doctor doesn't even know some of these questions. So we get this information, you do, and you take it back and you actually prepare a proposal, which includes what we call a practice revenue report. Eric, this is something that I think is very unique. Not anybody would have this and wouldn't even think of this practice revenue report unless they were, a part of our ABS licensee team.
Yeah, let me pull that up to show you exactly what Patrick's talking about. Now, this is what you've done. You've taken all those questions, and then now you're actually going to put it, into a report. So, Patrick, I'm going to show this up here, and why don't you kind of go through it step by step with everybody?
Yeah, so here's what the actual practice revenue report is, and this is a fake one, of course, Dr. John Doe, but here's a good illustration, folks, and Eric, maybe you can use your pen there to kind of highlight
Sure.
the arrow, maybe. I don't know if you've got an arrow, but anyway, you can point to some of these things.
Absolutely.
First of all, this is the average number of claims that the doctor's office is filing monthly. We've got 300 for this particular sample report here. Then the average amount collected per claim is $100. Now, you may be billing $150 or $125, but we're saying here's the actual money collected. And then you will get from that doctor's office their rejection or uncollected claim rate. And folks, it runs around 30 to 40% for some offices. This one we're showing 25%. Then that means that the money you're actually collecting for the doctor would be about $22,500 per month. Now, this one doesn't have an outsourcing fee because you haven't outsourced it to you yet. But we've built in here the monthly billing, staff salaries and benefits, and all the software and subscription and updates and support. Those are typical things that the doctor would pay to have his own staff do the billing. So after those costs, the doctor's only netting about $17,500. I mean, really, it's not a net. Of course, he's got other bills to pay too. But
of course,
for the billing, that's what he's bringing in. Look, we can reduce the rejection rate nationwide. This is our average. You're seeing it right there on the screen. Eric's pointing to it. It's less than 2% nationwide. So that means that the money we're going to collect for the doctor would be up to $29,400. And then even if you build in the cost that you'll be charging the doctor, let's say you're charging, I don't know what this is, Eric, maybe 6 or 7% of that amount. That's the money you keep, for doing the billing. And Eric, let's talk about it. $2,000. How long would it take to do 300 claims a month?
Oh my! Well, that's about 20 claims a day, 25 claims a day. So you're talking less than 90 minutes at the most on this.
Yeah. And then, of course, the monthly software subscription upgrades and support fees would run you about $360 for this doctor. Remember, the doctor pays those fees. So the practice revenue, the doctor's going to get $27,702 instead of the $17,500. Eric, when we project that out, it's a 58% increase in the doctor's revenue, or $10,000 a month more. That's $122,000. If we've done the math right, which I think it is built in there to do it right.
Absolutely. It's all built in there.
Hey, even if it was half that, Eric, if you were a doctor, wouldn't you say, maybe I ought to consider outsourcing my billing?
Now, this one's an actual real one. We've kind of, you can see here, we've blocked out some of this information here, but this is an actual one with actual numbers in it, and you can see here all these different numbers, but again, let me just kind of say this. This is all of the numbers from the doctor's office, all of this information, and then it kind of washes out to this here. Again, using our same numbers here, we can see that there's going to be an increase of that, and then going from 21,000 to 24, this is a 13% increase, just right here, Patrick.
Well, hey, that's $2,800 a month, Eric. For some doctors, that could mean the difference between staying in a practice and going out of practice, or having a different lifestyle.
Of course. Yep. I think we've got a couple of more we want to just demonstrate here, just showing you the different numbers. And here is a 10% increase which is going to bring in another $8,500 more a month. And then we've got one more here. These are real numbers, folks, from real licensees that are pulling these numbers in, and we were able to grab some of those as samples here for you.
Well, look at this one, Eric. $250,000 increase per year. I think the doctor probably would say, you know what, that would at least be worth trying.
Of course. And even if you got half of that, just half of that, there's still an increase of what you're being able to do. So, folks, these are the tools that you get here at American Business Systems. Patrick, I know we're at the bottom of the hour. I want you to kind of talk about this because I think sometimes we lose everything that we try to share on these webinars. But, because we talk a lot about the training, we talk a lot about, how we help you get clients. But it's these tools, Patrick, that sometimes we just don't spend enough time on some webinars.
I know, and this is the difference between us and most other franchises and business opportunities out there, folks. Because we as a company are making money, we're going to help you get as many accounts as possible because we're going to continue revenue on the back end as well as the licensing fee on the front end. And so we've given you these tools. We've put a lot of money and time into developing these tools because they work. These are actual examples from real licensees. And so one of the tools we give you, of course, and we go through this, remember, in detail in our week-long training down here in Dallas, we go through what we call a professional proposal. So that means taking this report and some other documents that we already have templated for you to use and put together a professional proposal to take back to the doctor. So you've done the practice analysis on one visit. You come back on the second visit and bring back the proposal, which includes this cover letter that you see here. And then it also includes a lot of other documents inside. You've got a nice cover page there. You've got the breakdown of some of the services that you're going to offer to the doctor. We break down all the pricing. Again, folks, we don't have time to go into detail today on every one of these, but look at this. Now, Stratologics is just a fake name we came up with there. We would show you how to personalize this, of course, for your own company. But as you can see, it's very professional. The doctors love this because it breaks it down step by step for them, exactly what you're going to do for them. remember you can offer them 6 other services besides medical billing. So we've got all that built into here, and you just delete the things that you don't want to offer this particular doctor. Then we go into the pricing. Specifically, we cover that in the training, how to price it, how not to leave money on the table, and yet how to price it to where you will get the account, not, it's not overpriced. And Eric, it's just step by step broken down. Wow, I've forgotten that we're so impressive on this.
But of course, and folks, these numbers that we're looking at here, these are not written in stone. These are from different licensees who are doing their one-time setup or whatever what they may be doing. So as you're going through all of this information here, all of these numbers, I mean, you're working with the doctor on what works best for them. And, obviously you don't have to give them all of the different services. But again, we just want to show you that this is actually in a Word document that you can take and then put your name and address down there at the bottom along with your website and, your logo up at the top. So all of this is written out for you. So you don't have to go, again, try to reinvent the wheel. Everything's done for you to help you succeed.
Yeah, it's like we call it American Business Systems for a reason. It is a system. If you follow the system, you will be successful and you will make money at this business. Folks, it only takes one general practitioner doing an average number of 300 or 400 claims a month for you to get your return on investment on our license fee in a very short period of time. You'll make that in a very short period of time. And then, of course, you'll add other doctors if you do a good job for that one. They refer other doctors to you. That's how most of our licensees grow their business. They do what we teach them in that training class to go get their first client, and then they just do a great job, and we teach you how to get referrals from that doctor for other doctors. They all know one another, so if you're doing a good job for one doctor, believe me, the word will spread fast.
Well, let me take this opportunity to remind everybody if there's any particular questions that you would like to ask. So I'm just going to call out some names here. So Edward, if you've got any particular questions, Bo, I know that I think you've been on here on several of these. Jackie, Karen, if anybody actually has any particular questions, Ramona, feel free to type in your questions here, and we'll certainly do what we can to get your answers to some of your questions. Patrick, this is something that you like to do, is these weekly training webinars. Now, today is a webinar that we do weekly for people that are on the call today, but then there is a separate weekly training webinars that you and Dr. Vicki Rackner and some of the other people actually do on Fridays.
Right. So this one is for people looking to get into our business. Once you're in our business and go through our week-long training workshop, then we send you emails about these webinars that we hold on Fridays. And Eric, we've done so many of these. We do them once a week almost. We skip every once in a while, but I mean, generally it's once a week, and they are so in-depth. Look at all these topics, folks. He's just kind of going through some screenshots of some of them here, but we're going into detail on each one of these. These are hour-long webinars like this one, except it's for you to learn even more about this business. And folks, we don't charge anything for these. Remember, this is a part of your lifetime licensing fee and support fee. That training goes on forever. We've been doing these for years, and so we have dozens of these out there, probably hundreds, Eric, on our licensee support website that you'll have access to.
Well,
and you can watch these at your leisure 24/7 from any device, including your iPad.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just circling some of these. I mean, sometimes we do we had a full panel discussion here with Dr. Vicki Rackner. My goodness, how to implement your successful series. So implementation, enrollment, account preparation. I know this one's very important for a lot of folks, training and managing sales reps. So, folks, we have so much information that we can get to you. Every one of these is out there. They're on our licensee's website, and I think we'll actually show a little bit of that here just shortly.
Yes, we're going to show the licensee support site live here in just a moment. So you guys will actually see some of the data and some of the resources that are out there for you. But look at all these topics, Eric. Get more doctors now, how to serve doing work that works for you. Folks, he's mentioned Dr. Vicki Rackner. She's actually helped me she's the co-author of the book that you saw earlier. And Eric, let me slide over here out of the picture just for a second, and I'll show that to you here live on the video. There's the book. We've actually, oh, you've got one there.
So, I beat you to it.
This is just about to appear on Amazon here within the next week or so. It'll actually be out there where you can order one if you want to, but don't do that. You can get a digital copy of this free from your American Business Systems business development coach.
There you go, folks. Yeah. You've heard it from the man. You can get a free PDF of this. Just give us a call. Email your business coach that you're working with, and we'll see if we can't get you a copy of that. Let's talk a little bit about some new service and ongoing research and development. You and I are always constantly trying to figure out what we can add to it. Now, one of the things I love to talk about right here is that it costs the licensee no extra money if we bring on new services.
That's right, folks. Some companies, if they brought on a new service, would charge you another licensing fee of some sort. Not us. When we develop something, because we make money on it too, we want you to offer that to the doctors. So over the years, we've introduced Quick Collect, Choice Pay, iDocs Now, CodeWrite, AutoGuard. These are things, folks, that are additional services that you can offer to the doctor in addition to the billing. And then we throw a whole bunch of other stuff into what we call a physician toolbox, like credentialing and meaningful use systems and contract negotiating, auto appointment reminders, transcription, on-site consulting, and auto deposit solutions. Now, don't worry about all these for now, folks. You don't have to offer any of these. These are all optional. But isn't it great to know that you could use all of these to get in the door to talk to a doctor? Maybe they're not interested in talking to you about their billing right now. But believe me, they have other challenges that they're facing that these solutions solve for them.
Absolutely.
There's additional costs when we introduce those. Hey,
Patrick,
Eric,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying we got some questions coming in. Maybe we ought to address those, let people know we really are looking at that question box.
Absolutely. So Diane's asking the question, will your system help create our bill to the physician's office for our services, or do we have to create our own accounting system? Diane, you would want to use something like QuickBooks. There are some great online services. Sometimes whenever I send out an invoice, I'm using a platform called FreshBooks. It just really is nice to be able to use other things like that. What the system will do, it will generate the report that you need to do your invoice with. So as the money's coming in for the doctor, you'll be able to find it. It'll be posted on there. So at that point, you can certainly go out there and get that.
Marcus is concerned about the refund. He says, how long would it take to get your refund if you decided this isn't for me? Well, Marcus, let me tell you this. We're the only company that I know of that will let you come through our entire week's training class. And if at the end of the week this isn't for you, you'll know. In fact, you'll know probably halfway through the week. If it's not for you, you just tell us. We give you all your money back. I mean, literally, we'd issue a check probably the next week, and it might take a week for it to get to you. But you know, it happens so rarely, Marcus, that we don't even. I couldn't tell you the exact time, but when would Eric? We've done maybe a handful of these in the time you've been with us. 18 years.
Yeah, I think so. What you were saying there, Patrick, I think you were just breaking up a little bit on your end. So I'll just repeat that back, and hopefully everybody's here. Patrick, you hear me okay as well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, there's only been a handful of folks that have, over the years, that at least since I've been around, 8 years, I've only seen just a handful of people ask for their reimburse or refund back, and that it's so for so many different reasons too, folks. But that's what it's there for. So, Karen, we're going to take your question here one more time, and then we'll get right back into here. But Karen's asking a question: how does ABS make the money on the back end of each claim? Is there a clearinghouse fee that the licensee has to absorb? I'm going to answer your second question first. The answer to that question: is there a clearinghouse fee that the licensees have to absorb? The answer is no, but we do get reimbursed from the clearinghouse portion of it because it's built into the system. But that's coming because the clearinghouse it's a for-profit organization, so it's collecting some of its monies and revenues from the actual insurance companies because they're the ones that are actually we're having to format it for those insurance companies. So because we get to push those claims through this particular clearinghouse, we've got an agreement that we on the back end get that money. And it's small little pennies, but folks, that's why we want to help you get a doctor, because we want to get as many doctors on the system as possible. So hopefully that answers your question there, Karen.
Yeah, there's no cost. Nothing comes out of your pocket. You don't have to write a check to anybody.
All right, I wanted to jump in here to this private online portal. Patrick, explain this a little bit, because I'm actually going to pull this up online for us here just real quickly.
Okay, so once you go through our training, you'll get a ID and password to this special website you're about to see live and in person here that is full of information and resources for you as an ABS licensee. There's no cost for this. Remember, you have a lifetime membership in this portal, and you have access to it anytime you wish. 24/7 you can go on and look at it. And there it is, live.
Yep, here we are. We just logged right on into it, and we're underneath the news section here. So we can look at several of these as we kind of go through here. But Patrick, I know that you're kind of integral in keeping up the news information here on the licensee support site.
Well, it's so important, folks, in this industry for you to keep up to date. Scroll down a little bit there, Eric, and they can see on this one page here. We've got all kinds of news articles. We've got updates to the software that we're talking about there. We have different webinars and things that we've posted. This is all stuff that's posted on a regular basis. You can actually see the dates there, folks, that we've been posting a whole bunch of stuff there in May and June. Here it is, July. We've already got 3 or 4 items. And we've already got some things in the works to post this week. So this is an ongoing live place that you come to first thing when you get to this site. And with the links that you see there, you can actually click on those, and it'll go straight into the page where that item is. And then look over on the right-hand side there, Eric. Those you can see when we started this back in, looks like September of 2014. But every one of those months has posts that you can go look at. Still, they're still on there. They never go away. And so we've got literally hundreds of posts there for the months that you see posted there.
Yeah, and this one right here, I know a lot of people are interested in because we get a lot of questions about how to work with sales reps. And so what we want to show you here real quickly, you can see that we've got a step-by-step of how to find and hire reps, how to compensate the reps, how to train those reps, how to manage those reps. And Patrick, you know that I was able to do a demo for a group to do an overview demo very specifically for the sales reps right here. So folks, you could go right, if you knew what the password is to get into here, and then there's another password that you need to get in here, and then at that point, then you could literally watch that entire demonstration of the system. And again, this is a live demonstration that you can give to your sales reps that they understand exactly what they're actually selling and marketing to the doctors. Patrick, again, this is this information right here is almost an overload. There's so much information here in this.
We not only train you as the business owner, but we train the people that you hire, the sales reps that can go out and market your services and get you new clients. We're going to teach you how to find those people, how to pay them, how to train them. And as you can see, we're showing you right here that you train them by pointing them to these videos that they can go and put in a password that we give to them that lets them watch these videos without having seen all the other stuff that's on here, because this is for you. This is for you, the business owner, see. So anyway, lots of good stuff. Eric is showing a great ebook here we had created by Dr. Rackner too.
Yeah, and explain what this is, because if you scroll down here, you can see your name, title as you wish it to appear on the cover. What does that mean, Patrick?
Well, look at the example there, and you can see that Dr. Rackner, of course, is the author. But right below that, it says forward by Sue Smith, CMRM. That's a Certified Medical Revenue Manager. So that'll be your name instead of Sue Smith's. Now, we've already written the forward. It's just a page, basically, that introduces the book. But on that page, you get to put your contact information. So, folks, this ebook that can be sent to doctors or printed out. I've got one here, Eric, that I printed out at Staples for about $4 or $5. You can hand that to a doctor, and it has your name on it. So, folks, we have basically let you partner with a medical doctor. What is that worth to you? Where else would you get something like that? Nowhere but ABS.
Yeah, nowhere but ABS. Okay, so let me, Patrick, if you want to go try to find that book here, I'm going to get back into our slide presentation.
Yeah, here's the ebook that's printed out. You can actually print it out, you see, and it's a great giveaway for a doctor. Great, they love it. It's a great marketing tool. Folks, now all that you're seeing here, by the way, is a part of your license. Remember, there's no extra cost for any of this. This is a part of you becoming an ABS licensee.
Patrick, I know we're getting close to time on the clock here, but again, this is another area that's pretty close to your heart. You want to work with licensees sometime personally, and a lot of these you've actually spoken with, you've worked with. Tell us about this whole motivational page here is what we're looking at here too as well.
Yeah, these are interviews that I've actually done with licensees. Once somebody has got their business up and running, even sometimes after their first account, we'll get on a webinar like this and record an interview with that person. As you can see, we've done dozens of these. And you can see some of these if you'd like. They're out there still on our blog, on our website. Just go to our website, absystems.com, and you can watch any of these where I've actually interviewed these people. You'll hear how they got that first client, the challenges they faced in starting this business. Folks, these are just put out there for you to motivate you to go out and succeed. Nothing motivates people like success. And I love to interview the successful licensees that are just going and signing up doctors. Folks, we're signing up more doctors this year than we ever have in any year of our business. It's just incredible how the healthcare field right now is just booming, and doctors are desperate for help in managing their revenue. So these are ways that we motivate you by doing these.
And then one of the things that we were talking about here is the personal coaching. Now, this personal coaching can come from, sometimes, Patrick, you've actually done some personal coaching as well. I know that I have, and obviously that all starts with support. Support will do all the coaching that you need, but yet there's some times that, we always get to some sort of level where we need to maybe pass that on to somebody else. So what you might find out is that you will be working with another ABS licensee to help you really be coached on a specific area.
Yeah, now let me explain how that works, Eric. Again, once we've seen that a licensee knows what they're doing, they've built a very successful business, maybe they've opened an office, they've hired staff, we then contract with that licensee. That means that if you become successful and want to be one of our coaches, we'll contract with you, and yes, you get paid for the time that you spend coaching other licensees. We'll set that up through a Skype session or GoToMeeting, any of these different things that allow you to actually speak with somebody over the computer. So this coach could be in a completely different state, but they're coaching you because they want to help. Many of our licensees would do it at no charge to us, Eric, but I insist that people's time, that's all we have, right, is time. I insist on paying for their time and doing this. Eric, we got more questions coming in that I just want to make sure we cover all these here.
Sure.
Do you want to do those now, or do we want to finish up
yeah,
here?
I think we're just about through with the slides, so we'll do that. And but we've kind of talked about new recent clients again. I'm going to kind of go through some of this, and I know that we want to see that you can see some of these that have come through here. You mentioned earlier that we keep adding more people. More doctors are coming in on board with us. So many different ones. Sometimes you can see that there are multiple doctors in some of these agreements here. But folks, what you're seeing here are agreement after agreement after agreement here. Some of the things that the doctors of our ABS licensees have done here signing up. Those were just some of the ones just from the last quarter of last year. We're talking about the ones from this year has tripled that amount of what we've been able to bring on as new doctors for our licensees.